Well, a bill designed to crack down on offenders who commit violent crimes while out on bond in South Carolina has just passed in the state's House of Representatives.
Its supporters are now calling on senators to get it to Governor Henry McMaster as soon as possible. State House reporter Mary Green has the latest.
Bond reform is a top public safety priority for leaders here at the State House this year, with the governor in his State of the State address calling on lawmakers to get such a bill to his desk this session.
Today, the House loudly spoke with an overwhelming majority that we are going to crack down on those who continue to terrorize our citizens, especially when they're out on bond.
House Republican leaders joining sheriffs, solicitors, and the chief of SLED to mark the bipartisan passage of a bill they say will close the revolving door of crime in South Carolina.
Today, we begin holding those violent repeat offenders accountable.
Under this bill, people who commit a violent crime while out on bond for another violent offense would automatically have that initial bond revoked. Then a new bond hearing would have to be held in circuit court within 14 days. If they're granted bond on that second offense, they'd have to pay it in full, in cash. If the person is ultimately convicted of that subsequent violent crime and found to have committed it while out on bond, they'd have a mandatory additional 5 years tacked on to their prison sentence, though that could be served concurrently with their time for the offense itself. But some lawmakers argued this would be unfair and potentially unconstitutional to add on that time for someone who is found not guilty of the initial charge, because without it, they wouldn't have been out on bond in the first place.
What we face with this legislation is taking away time from individuals who very well may be innocent, and that may not bother you as long as it's not you.
Other opponents argue this isn't an issue with state law that needs to be fixed because the law already provides a remedy for these situations. They contend if someone commits a violent crime while out on bond, the solicitor can file a motion to revoke bond.
I know everybody wants to go back and be tough on crime. We're tough on crime. But we are here to be gatekeepers of people's rights.
The solicitor for Charleston and Berkeley County says it's not enough.
Bond revocations in and of themselves are not getting the results that we need.
With the House passing this bill, it'll next head to the Senate, which is already considering its own bond reform legislation. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.